talk about is that you compare that. If that was one of the top guys from like now, if they put a video out showing how they prepared and trained for regionals or one of the semi-finals, it would probably get a few more views than that.
Yeah.
But it was crazy, just the contrast in that. And it's really good footage and insight into that.
Well, I think it was Ian that did that, who's doing all the Road to the Game stuff now. Like he was doing
really?
Yeah. And the reason why it only has like 300 views because you said top guys, and that did not, I was not one of those guys. So.
Well, yeah, but even the top guys, it was, I mean, there was like 3 of them.
Right.
I mean, like it was so, dude, it was so new back then.
Yeah. Well, when I
like if you got 100 views, you're like, dang, I'm famous.
I still do. But thanks for joining me, guys. Really appreciate your time. Bill, it's 10:30 with you. Chase, it's just gone midday, hasn't it? So really appreciate it in the middle of the daytime. Guys, thanks for joining me. I know there's a few of you in the chat already, so hello everyone. Guys, I don't think you need too much of an introduction to this channel, especially, but our ecosystem and the media. However, I do have quite a lot of European listeners that join in and listen to this show after it's gone live and over the next couple of days. So for the sake of those guys, you don't have to speak any different. You don't have to talk any different languages or anything like that. I don't know if you know any Lithuanian, or, probably as much as I do. But just kind of like I just wanted to introduce you guys. So you guys are like stalwarts of CrossFit now. Whether it be at the box level or the games or however you want to look at it, you guys are extremely well known. Both of you elite level athletes in your era at the time.
At one time.
Still, it still counts.
Asterisk.
But I just want to get like a really quick like elevator pitch from you guys about like just your background growing up. I've written all the notes down, but it would be nice to hear it from you. So Chase, you're on the left. So I just want like, you know, what's your name? Where'd you come from? your sporting background, and how you found CrossFit.
So Chase Ingram, I live in Dallas, Texas.
I'm Captain America.
I'm Captain.
I'm Captain America.
I still got it. Yeah.
There we go.
I would say my entire athletic resume dealt with failure and just moving on to the next thing that I could possibly try to pick up. So my dad was a professional football player for a very brief moment in time, of which he claims does not count, which I completely count. My mom was an Olympic trials level swimmer and played for the men's club water polo team at the University of Arizona, where my parents both went to school. And I tried to follow in my dad's footsteps through football, and through high school. Puberty was not kind to me. So I had to shift over to water polo, fell in love with water polo, won a couple state titles, then started swimming to get better at water polo. And then found out you had to be really smart to go to colleges that had water polo, which was basically everywhere that Bill lives. And with lack of athleticism and intelligence, I could not chase my water polo dream. So I ended up swimming competitively in college for Division I college here in Dallas, stayed here. And through all the failures of my lack of athleticism, the effort to keep pace actually paid off when I found CrossFit, which was in 2008, and found out that working out really, really hard worked really well in CrossFit, which was just working out really, really hard. So I kind of hit the ground running once I found CrossFit back in 2008, and made the games individually in 2010 and never made it back. And that's why I have a podcast and I talk about CrossFit, because I can't compete in it anymore.
Right.
All because of one workout.
Because of one workout twice.
Yeah. Do you think anyone's going to claim that for Isabel this year?
Ooh, that kept him out of the games?
Or in it?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, they probably could say one workout 5 times based off how this game's qualifying season.
Right. Yeah.
True. Yes.
And Bill, over to you.
So I'm the oldest in the entire locker room group and all of the people that hang out. And that was always kind of get, at least in CrossFit, kind of my claim to fame was I was the old guy competing with the young guys. Only because CrossFit wasn't around yet. So I didn't have a chance to do it as a younger guy and make my way through and like age up. I was already aged by the time I got into it. But my background, wrestling and swimming from like 5 years old on. Wrestling was always my main sport. Swimming was just fun because I liked to swim and there were girls wearing bathing suits. And that's all I remember when I was like a kid and seeing girls with shoulders and stuff. So I'm glad that my girl has shoulders right now. She's awesome. She's in the chat, by the way. So, I mean, I always, sports was a big deal for me. My dad was a wrestler, Olympic trials level, college wrestler, played football, did track, was a heavy sport guy, was a wrestling coach for the high school in Arizona. And so we just always saw that. Sports we always saw. My dad always worked out. I mean, so my dad passed away, but like even up until the year before he passed away, the guy was religious Monday, Wednesday, Friday, lifting in the gym, and Tuesday, Thursday, he would run. Like that was just what he did. So having that sort of a work ethic was just kind of bred into me. State champ as a high school wrestler, 2-time finalist, went to college, wrestled for Cal Poly, which is where Chase's dad was actually going to go.
Yeah, my dad was going to go wrestle there.
Which I thought was awesome when I found that out.
Yeah.
But
I'm assuming not when you were there.
Not when I was there. Not when I was there. But it was really funny. So Garrett just found this out, like the last show that we did. So Chuck Liddell was on my team. We were teammates for like 4 years when we wrestled at Cal Poly. So that was, before all the UFC stuff, before he became a world known brawler. He was just a local brawler that we would all get in fights with and stuff when we were cutting weight. It was pretty funny. Anyway, so we did all that. And I got into fire, was a firefighter and still working out. I thought that's what drew me into it. It was actually through lifeguarding. I liked the idea of being able to train and be in shape and go on cool rescues and do all that. And fire was kind of the natural progression through that. And as I was doing a lot of that stuff, I met a buddy of mine from college, was kind of into like paddling, and we would do like paddling things. And he moved up to Santa Cruz and he was looking for something to work out in. He's like, "Hey, I found this gym." He was looking for like a grappling gym, but he's like, "I found this gym and they do these really like goofy workouts and they're hard and I think you'd dig them." And I'm like, "Well, what is it?" And he's like, "Well, it's CrossFit." And I'm like, "Well, what, like cross training? Like, what is that? I don't understand this." And this was like 2002, 2001, wow. Like way back then. Actually met Greg Glassman and like a lot of the OGs at their daughter's baby shower. My daughter, I think, was 6 months at the time. And so my ex-wife and her best friend, it was this guy's wife. So we were up at their house and Greg and the crew came in and we're all drunk and this was the famed pull-up contest. And he's like, we're all drunk and I'm a wrestler. And I'm like, "You're going to challenge me to a pull-up contest? Do you know who you're messing with right now?" So I always had that kind of an attitude. And of course I gave them, "You're cheating with all that whipping around, flailing all over the place." And, learned what CrossFit was, didn't quite get it. Played on the website like around 2002, doing some of the workouts. I think like the first workouts I remember doing was how many unbroken sets of pull-ups, 3 pull-ups could you do in 15 minutes? And the next day was how many sets of 5 unbroken push-ups can you do in 15 minutes? So it wasn't like Helen or Fran or something cool like that. It was back in the obscure days of CrossFit when it was very black boxy. So again, didn't really know what it was. Still lifting, back and bis and chest and tries and all of that, and got really bored in my lifting probably like around 2006-ish when, with fire, and didn't know what I was doing it for anymore, and kind of came back around to CrossFit, read the What is Fitness article that Greg wrote. And that was when the light bulb went off. And I'm like, dang, CrossFit. I think I want to be able to do anything. And so that was it. There wasn't any competition yet. There wasn't the games yet. I actually had the flyer for the first one to go to it because I'm like, oh, that's not too far away. Got sent on a flyer, missed it. Was going to go, okay, I'll go to the next one. Got held on at the station at the same time, missed that one. And then my first competition was in 2009. And then for like the early part of all of the regionals and sectionals and all of those kind of things back in the day, like I missed the games by 3 spots every single time. Figured I was, well, I guess it was probably up until about 2013. 2014, I blew my knee out. My brother qualified. He ended up doing the Masters thing. He's like, hey, I want you to do the Masters with me. And I was like anti-master way back then. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that.
Oh, anti-masters.
Maybe a little bit. Like, I'm not going to do that crap. But he's like, I want you to do it with me. And so then that was the first year I made it to the games. And that was 2015. So blew my knee out in 2014 and made it to the games in 2015 and came out with second, which is pretty cool. And then just been kind of playing with it the whole time, man. It feels so good to do it. It reminds me of wrestling. I still, even now, like I'm not training for anything, but I feel that like, oh, what's the next guy doing next to me?
Yeah.
And that is, I just really believe that, like, as far as a workout program goes, like that's the fountain of youth right there, man. And so like, I with all the stuff, me and Chase talk about this a lot. My CrossFit flag has been kicked into the mud a lot of times, and I've picked it back up a lot of times because I just believe in the 100 words of fitness. And I'm not talking, I mean, I've even gotten to arguments online with people like, what is CrossFit? Oh, constantly varied functional movement done at high intensity. I'm like, no, that's just the workout. I'm talking the whole methodology. Like when I say what is CrossFit, it's the 100 words. And I believe it, man, to my core. I've tried everything else out there and nothing works like, so I keep picking up the flag. Here I am picking it up.
You're like Mel Gibson in The Patriot.
Yeah, I am. That's what I feel like.
I'm English. We don't like Mel Gibson.
Understandable.
Every film he's ever made, I don't know how he managed it. He made like an English guy, a bad guy in the Passion of the Christ. I don't know how he did that.
Yeah.
He managed to
that is a weird accent that you have.
Yeah,
as the Roman guard.
Yeah, exactly. It's like bloody the Death Star. The whole of the crew of the Death Star have English accents. Yeah, Harrison Ford and Luke Skywalker are Americans.
Yeah, it's the worst. Like,
we're the bad
because
guys.
That way we can understand it over here. That's all.
It's just like Europe in general, right?
Yeah, we're one big just shit show.
Totally.
So you mentioned something there, Bill, about your dad having a really good work ethic, and you obviously, Chase, you're saying about your dad and like being, even though it was a brief stint in NFL. Did either of your I'm talking about your dads here, I'm sure your mums were very working hard as well. Did your dads have any non-negotiables that you were aware of that they did every day that you were aware of, and have you got any? Is there anything that you have to do, part of your routine, your regiment, to keep disciplined every day? Doesn't have to be a workout.
That's a good question. The one thing my dad always instilled in me, because I made light of my lack of athletic prowess as a kid, even now, like, I guess if I'm around people who do CrossFit, I'm pretty athletic, but that's because they're not athletic. Is that he told me, so this is something he gave me once. I was in middle school, and it stuck with me, and I give to my son. So this is the one thing, and it says, he was like, listen, you're smaller, slower, weaker than everybody that you're going to school with. You're trying to play sports with all of these kids. The only way I think it was basketball tryouts in 7th grade. It's like the only way you're making this team is if you outwork everyone, because coaches will notice work ethic. Coaches will notice effort. Obviously, talent is undeniable. However, when there's one spot left and they're kind of at the bottom of the barrel of the guys, you're not going to stand out athletically. You're not going to stand out physically. You're not going to stand out in all of those terms, the way you shoot a basketball. However, you can stand out based off how hard you work, how you pay attention, how you do every drill right, how hard you work, how, like how, the old try hard hustled white guy, that was me. Like I was that. And so with my son, I instill that you cannot be results driven. And that the most important thing you can do for yourself is to work as hard as you can. I will celebrate your effort before I ever celebrate your results.
Yes.
Because if you get so enamored with the end result, you skew the thing that was really the most important process to get there. And that was the process to get there, the journey to get there. The quote is like, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And I try to give that to my son so much because my son is a lot like me. He's not the biggest kid in the class. He's not the most go get it competitor.
Yeah.
What I tell him is like, listen, dude, I don't care if you ever score a basket, but don't ever quit on that basketball court. Don't ever stop chasing someone down on the football field. Try as hard. Like I put him in every sport so he learns how to try. And so that's the biggest thing my dad gave to me and that I give to my son.
Yep. Yeah. 100%.
Dang, I think our dads like read from the same book.
Pretty sure we have the same dad.
Yeah. My dad was, I think, being a coach himself, and so I mean, I didn't see him as an athlete necessarily. I saw him actually wrestle one time. Him and a couple of his assistant coaches went to this tournament, and it was by far the coolest thing I had ever fucking seen because I saw my dad kick the shit out of people. Cool. Like pick them up off the ground and throw them to the mat. And I was like, my dad is the best. it was the ultimate my dad can beat up your dad thing. It was by far the coolest. But his whole thing was when you're training or if there's something that you want, like everybody wants to win. The thing is that there's only one winner. Everybody else is a loser behind that. There's only one winner. So someone might have more technique. Someone might have better equipment. They got better shoes. They got a better coach. But what they can't do is like you can decide if they will outwork you or not. And if you are always thinking, I will do more than someone else, and you make this image in your head of that person that you now need to do more than, that's the thing that will make you run. That's the thing that will make you, cut the weight. That's the thing that's going to make you lift. That's the thing that drives you. And wow, what's really crazy is that's one of the reasons why I really like people always say, have you retired from competing? I'm like, it's not that I've retired from competing. The thing is that I know that when I decide to compete, I am all in. Like that becomes priority. And I am lucky enough to have had the opportunity to make that my priority for a lot of years over my lifetime. I don't need to have that be my priority. So I'm not driven to need that. I just know that when that happens, that becomes the main priority. And I don't want that. And then I do a lot of stuff like with Chase, with my daughter. Like I want to tell her how proud I am of how hard she's working.
Yeah.
And it took me a lot of years to try to understand enjoy the process, because in my mind, that was like, yeah, that's what all the losers say. Right. Enjoy the process because you're not really here. It's like the people that say they go to the CrossFit Games. I'm just trying to experience the CrossFit Games. All right. Well, you're not going to be anywhere other than in the bottom 10.
Yeah.
Like you have to be able to push so hard and drive so hard with the maybe a little with the desire to to be the best that you can possibly be, hoping that allows you to be the winner. I mean, but the fact is that like that's what I love about sports so much. And when we look at all of the analysts that are out there, and everyone wants to talk about, well, this event equals this person is going to win, and this sort of style means that this person's going to win. What I love about sports is the shit that the second it's 3, 2, 1, go, or the whistle blows, anything can happen. And that's what I love. So it's like, okay, yeah, maybe on paper they're supposed to win, but you can't take away from me yet. Because right now I've been training so hard, and the work ethic is there so that I can get in there and I will bang heads with you.
Yeah.
And like I just love that piece of it. I love but the only way
I
you
think
have
it's
that
so good for
chance is
kids.
the work ethic.
That, to me, that's with kids, that totally changed for me. Because I'm with Bill, I was like, oh, you try hard. It's like,
Okay,
we're not talking about trying hard. We're not talking about participation trophies. What we're talking about is like, how do you motivate someone beyond trinkets and results and trophies?
Yep.
Because a lot of times, and I see this with parents that are in our area, like my son is going to be in 2nd grade. So now all these kids in our neighborhood or that go to school together are playing sports against each other. And you see this huge emphasis on winning games, or this huge emphasis on scoring touchdowns, or who got the most points. And then so is that what you celebrate with your kid in the car? Is like, dude, you scored, you're the best. It's like, well, what if he doesn't score next game? What's the metric? But when you tell your kid, son or daughter, I'm so proud of how hard you worked today. I'm so proud of you. Look, my son's in jujitsu. He's not good. But I'm like, dude, you were getting slammed and you kept going after that kid who was just wrecking your, he's like, Dad, I lost every time. I'm like, I don't care. I'm all about trying to win.
Yeah.
But with a 7-year-old that I'm trying to teach and instill that, it's like, well, I lost every match. And then the one time I won, it was the best day ever. It's like, no. In fact, the best day ever was you getting drilled into the mats for an hour, and you kept getting up and going after this kid who you had no chance beating. That's way cooler than you getting that win, because and I try to tell him, is like the one time, and this can translate to anything. The one time that person who is unstoppable lets up and you're there ready.
That's your chance.
That's what we're chasing right now.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right there. And again, you've got the difference between open and closed sports here. So I would classify CrossFit predominantly as a closed sport. So you're in a lane. There's no interruption or interference from other athletes for the best part. Obviously, if you've got a argy-bargy run or a bike ride or whatever, but for the best part, you're in your lane. CrossFit gives the opportunity for people to just do just that. They can purely focus on their own performance. That's that. Whereas open sports like water polo and wrestling, you are at the complete mercy of the opposition and your teammates with water polo. So in that respect, it is slightly different. But funny you should say jiu-jitsu. My kids have both got their first jiu-jitsu tournament this weekend on Sunday. So we're traveling to the UK. So they're both white belt. My son's been begging to be promoted to a grey belt, but his coach has said, look, you've got a tournament coming up. You're better off sticking for a white, and then we'll see how you get on. But the whole time, I'm very, very fortunate. My wife was an Olympic athlete. She did synchronized swimming. Jace, you'll probably know about synchro. Water polo. So she competed at 2012 and coached in 2016. Now, her whole family are athletes. Her mum's been to the games the last 2 years in the 65 plus division. Her dad won the Commonwealth Games at weightlifting. Her brother is an insane all-round athlete. He's not that bothered. He's a techie nerd. Her side of the family are all growth mindset. It's what can we do next? How can we do this? What have we learned? And when I met her, that is a complete fucking contrast from the way that I was brought up. We played soccer. We played that a lot. Yeah. I played from the age of like 3 or 4, and that was my only sport other than bench press, the SBD, when I was about 14. But when I found CrossFit at the age of 26, it all changed for me. And my dad, when we used to play football on a Sunday or a Saturday, would say, if you score a goal, you can have a McDonald's or you can have a Snickers. It was result-driven reward.
Right.
And bless him, he was doing his best. That's how we thought he would. He's a very, very working class guy. He didn't really get much treats, or his dad never came to his matches or anything like that. And all I would do the whole fucking match is focus on trying to get the ball in the back of the net. It would totally detract from the team play, from enjoying the day, from enjoying the training sessions. All it would be was trying to score that goal. And in hindsight, I did take a lot away from that, obviously. But with my kids, I'm doing exactly the same thing. And it's carbon copy conversation of what you had with your son, Chase. I've said to them, I couldn't care less if you win, and I can tell that you have trained your hardest and you put in all your effort. If I know that and I can see that, that will make me the happiest dad in the world, because I've seen you doing everything that you can. If you also win, brilliant. We know that you've done. However, if you win and I can tell that you didn't really put a lot of effort in, or you just blagged it because of talent, all right, you won, but I'm not going to be too chuffed with you. Like, well done, you get a clap, but I'm not going to, we're going to work a lot harder on your effort rate here. And that for a kid is so important. And if you think with our kids in 20 years time, when they're, mid 20s, early 30s, they're instilling that mindset into their kids. So you're teaching your grandkids basically at the moment now. But it's cool. So I think it's a hard line to draw when you are trying to, as with adults, like you said, with kids, it's very different. You're nurturing humans into what you want them to be when they're older. So it's a really delicate process, which is why when you're teaching and coaching kids, you've always got to keep in mind their parents' goals for them and what they want. I don't know if you coach kids currently.
So the first day of practice. So I coach all of my sports kids. Sports, I have no business coaching, by the way. I've never played lacrosse, but I coach it. Is I'll take the parents and I was like, listen up. Like, these kids are 7 and 8. No one's getting college scholarships over the next 6 weeks. No one's going pro. We will teach your kids how to love playing the game so that when you ask them if they want to play next year, they say yes. That's it. Of course, we're going to try to win, but it's not win at all costs. They'll play as a team. They'll lose as a team. And I think the biggest thing I love what you're instilling is that the way we approach this method with our kids is it teaches them, I would say, the most important thing about being competitive, and it's how to lose.
Yes.
Because if you're only focused on the end result, which could be the game or the way you performed, and you have to explain to a child that it's okay that you lost because you did everything you could possibly do. And when you put all of your emphasis on the way that they play and the effort at which they give, it's a lot easier of a pill to swallow than W's and L's.
Dude, but that is a learned process. And I think that what's funny is, so I would say that my generation ruined a lot of kids because we were in my generation. Okay, we came up tough. Gen X came up tough, and we didn't want our kids to feel the same things that we felt, feel sad and feel bummed out. So my generation created the whole participation award crap that is out there. And I think what that is that it was a learning process of trying to figure out how to say exactly what Chase just said. That's not an easy to learn or understand thing. I do competitions so that I can win. I don't do competitions.
Right.
If I want to play a game because it's fun, I'll play Monopoly or I'll play a video game like that. But I'm doing this activity, this sport to win. I'm not doing it just to have fun. And that's a really hard concept to do that. It's if I'm doing it to win, how do I worry about, how do I not get upset if I lose? And to understand what winning is and what it means versus what losing means versus, you're not losing, you're learning what you need to do to fix, all of those things. Those are all phrases. I mean, in reality, it's a coaching cue but instead of a movement standard, it's a mental standard. Okay, how can I mentally drive myself from point A to point B? How do I improve myself? A lot of kids get into sports. Every parent, and it's so funny. I do a lot of work. So I do CrossFit classes for baseball kids. I have an 11 and under group, which I have from 7 years old to 11. And then on Tuesday, Thursday, I do 12 to 14-year-olds. And all of those parents think that their kids are going to be in the MLB. And it's like, have you seen your kid throw this tennis ball? I don't know. I'm not a baseball player. I don't know anything about baseball, but I'm watching these. I'm like, do you see your kid do anything? Because I mean, maybe I don't know, but it doesn't seem to me like they're going to go real far. But what I'll do is I'll make them enjoy working out, and they'll get stronger, and they're going to get, they're all the CrossFit stuff so that they can go to the baseball practice and they can learn how to throw and hit and learn how to do all the different, plays and everything. But like that's a learning skill. And I think for a lot of parents that maybe almost made it, and they think maybe if I just would have had a little bit more time, or if I just would have done this club. So they start pushing that way because, as parents, we want to give our kids what we didn't have.
Yeah.
And that is a slippery slope.
They are the worst parents.
The worst.
The almost made it or the never was are the worst with their kids, because they mask trying to give their kids something they never have of what the reality is living through your kids because you live it yourself.
Yeah.
The reality is like and you're right, because the ones that have made it or have had that experience, they're the quietest ones.
Yeah.
Like, so you're
not all of them, but
but majority. I mean, like a lot of them. Okay, there's a little bit of ego that's still. It's like, oh, you're my kid, and I'm this Olympic champion. You should be great. But once they learn, and usually second kid is going to be better than the first kid, because like the parents realize to stand the hell back, so they've learned. But like in wrestling, so Jordan Burroughs, he's like the greatest U.S. wrestler that's ever been. His son wrestles, and he's a really quiet parent. When his kid is wrestling on the side, he just kind of stands back and lets the coach do. I'm sure they go at home and they'll talk about whatever, but like he's doing his thing out there. And he had a post up one time when his kid was at some, whatever, 10 and under or 12 and under state championship back east. And he's like, I am appalled by the parents that yell at the kid, that yell at the other kid, that yell at the refs, that yell at the other coach. It's like, hey, fat ass, sit your ass down, because you can't do anything anyway. Get the hell out of here. Like, shut the hell up. Let the kid go. And that's, I'm very partial to wrestling, but the greatest thing about wrestling is you don't have I've learned a lot about with baseball. You can be the best kid and be a great baseball player on a shitty team. And I don't understand how that works, and how coaches and scouts can see someone's skill like within a team playing. It's like, okay, this team's not winning, but that player is great. Like with wrestling, it's great. You go out, you either win or you lose. Like it's black and white. You're either going to go out and beat the kid. Jiu-jitsu, same way. You're either going to go out and either get your ass handed to you, or you almost had a chance, or you're barely going to beat him, or you're going to crush him. Like that's it. Those are the only options. And you then especially at an early age, have to learn how to be okay with that. And I think that's such, it's a thing that we don't get, but man, those parents, geez, oh man, shut the hell up.
So God. I'll be perfectly honest.
You're one of those parents, aren't
you? No.
Okay.
I was like, oh shit, it's awkward. See you later.
At jiu-jitsu training, all the parents are sat around on their phones, just not paying attention. And my daughter and my son, that I homeschool, so they see the coach PT once a week on their own. So they got really good rapport. 3 times a week they go in the class environment. Now, when they're in the class environment, I cannot help but make sure that they're behaving. And if they're fucking around, I'm on them. And if they don't listen to the coach or they're talking over them, I will say, Donnie or Dina, listen, I'm interrupting. I don't think that's the same thing that you're talking about. But
no.
But when it comes to competition, it's the other way around. So I go dead silent, because I know full well, I've been a coach with people at sport. I know how fucking annoying it is when you've got like the parents getting involved and talking over you, especially with things like jiu-jitsu, when you need to be heard, and I think getting back to the point that you're talking about, like identifying talent and I think resilience is one attribute that you see in kids, in specific kids, that others don't. It's that let's go, let's keep going, and smiling and moving on. And what can I do? All right, what can I do? And it took me a long time to learn that for myself. And my kids, I want to introduce that when they're young, so they grow up with this growth mindset of, right, shit's hit the fan. All right, what can I do? Bit of critical thinking here. Let's assess the situation. What can we do? How do we get past this? Let's move on to the next thing. Let's constantly strive for the next thing, whilst trying to be present and enjoying themselves, clearly. But you see it with the kids where they have meltdowns and then they throw a tantrum. And then the worst thing is when the parents pull them off and then they take them home, or, you know, they go, oh, it's not for them. It's like, no, this is exactly what they need.
Right.
Especially, you know, they need to build up that tolerance to resistance. And sport is one of those things that it's essential for kids.
Sport is so important for so many different reasons. And none of them have to do with being a professional athlete.
No, God, no.
I can't remember who I was talking to the other day, but just so everybody knows where they stand with me, if you didn't grow up playing sports, I trust you less.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're a bad person. I'm not saying you're not trustworthy. But the things that I learned from sport, both individually or on a team for decades, are so valuable to the way I interact with people, the tough times, the poor situations, how to handle adversity, like the way, like to compromise. There's so much I learned beyond being like selfish, right? There's a selfless aspect that everyone needs to be successful in a group setting. And there's nothing that teaches that better and more raw than sports, in my opinion.
Yeah, because it's black and white. You win, you lose. You're able to do or you're not to do. And I'm sure you guys have seen this. The kid that for whatever reason, like they have all the talent. They somehow, doesn't matter how old they are, they step on the field and they're like
crazy to see.
Magic.
At like 5.
And those kids, like, and if this is one of your kids out there, I will say this to you because I've seen it so many times. If your kid goes out there and just smashes right out of the gate, they're going to have a hard time because they are not learning how to handle when things get tough. When things get tough, they need to be, they'll push through that. They're automatically beating these kids right away. So they just think that that's natural. I don't need to, I just do whatever I'm doing. I don't need to work hard. It's just, I'm just good.
Yeah. The tantrums.
When they lose, it's always the ref did it. The other kid cheated. They don't know. Yeah, totally. Yeah. It's, I would rather a kid get, bumps and bruises. I mean, no one wants to have the kid go out and just get throttled all the time. I mean, no one wants to see that. But if they can learn to get back up, that grit, that resilience, like it, the way that element, that one element transfers from the field into relationships, into financial issues, into job issues. Because guess what, man? Like I know everyone wants to say positive thinking and all that kind of stuff, but the world is a tough place.
Yes.
And very Rocky-esque. It will knock you on your ass harder than any punch will. But it's not how hard you can hit, it's how hard you can get hit and get back up. It is all of that. Like Rocky to me is like all of the Rockies are like, it's like buried, shoved and stuffed into my heart. So like those phrases, they cannot get any more true than that.
Yeah.
Like that is, the winner is the one that can keep getting up. If you can keep getting up, you will win. Because not everybody can. In the heart, those, like that's even in the CrossFit, if you look at the CrossFit stuff, those that push hard. Me and Chase talk about the place where it's safest to fail is in the gym, in the training room. Same thing for kids, same thing for adults. When you train yourself to get the shit kicked out of you and get back up, life is so much easier.
Yep.
And I mean, who wouldn't want that for their kid?
Right.
So somebody get popped, whatever, physically or not, boom, and get back up and be like, okay, now what?
Right.
But and again, one of the beautiful things, and that's absolutely true. One of the beautiful things that I love, and I'm going to bring it back to CrossFit here, is I don't know about your gyms, but we've got a kids area where there's sofas, there's a bit of play area, but the gym floor is perfectly visible. So the kids can sit there and they can watch their parents, even if it's out the corner of their eye, even if it's just checking in halfway through the class. They see that a couple of times a week, their parents making themselves really uncomfortable, putting themselves in the shitter and opting to do that, getting up, walking out and getting on with their day. There's got to be something special about that for kids growing up seeing that.
You guys have all had coaches. Which ones did you respect the most? The ones that either would give you things that you knew that they like. I'm not giving you something that I wouldn't do.
Mm-hmm.
I make a big deal about like when I'm coaching here, like the workouts that I program, I do them too. So yeah, it buried you. Yeah, it'll bury me too. Like I know that it will, or it already did. One of the two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But those are the coaches that I respected the most, and not that they had to be in the best shape right then, but if I know that they have done it, I know that the stuff that they aren't giving me just to look how cool I am.
No,
like those are the ones I respect the most. And so to see your parents do that, it's like, dang, that's huge.
My kids love watching me work out.
Yeah.
And then they're like, we're going to work out too. Like all of a sudden I'll be in the garage. My daughter just walks in shorts only. I'm like, all right. I want to sweat.
You're a CrossFitter right there, right?
My favorite coaches were the ones that challenged me at every turn. It was, and rarely was there a lot of praise, but it wasn't because I didn't earn it. I just hadn't earned it yet. Like those are my favorite ones, because to me, that told me they expected more from me, or they saw more from me. So they gave me tougher challenges to try to accomplish. And once I got that one, they gave me a new one. Like that was always fun for me. It was really fun it wasn't that it was never good enough. It was like, all right, you can do more. You can handle more. Here's the next challenge. I would get that from a lot of my swim coaches, and I get that from my dad, it was always great. Right. And that was super fun I enjoyed being challenged so much, because to me, that would, like, if you were to challenge, like, hey, here's your challenge. Like this is, and it'd be almost unreachable at the time. To me, it would be like, this coach sees me as being capable of this. So I'm going to prove to him that he's right. I'm not trying to prove you wrong, because you gave me the challenge, right? It's not like you could never do this. He's like, I think you can do this. I'm like, man, I don't know if I can. I was like, I appreciate the goal, coach, but like those are always my favorite ones that kept pushing me.
Well, and that puts you in a win-win too. Because like technically, if it's a challenge, it's supposed to be just out of your reach. You're not supposed to get it. Yeah, I think you can, but you're not supposed to. So if you don't, you're not going to feel bad about yourself. You're not going to feel like I didn't win. It's like, well, you weren't supposed to anyway, but look how close you got. That's why I think like having high standards is super important, so that you can. I just think that people are always going to undershoot what they really can do. So push that bar up, just like what you said. Your coach would do, put that bar up high, so that you're reaching for it. And if you get it, like how cool is that? If you didn't, it was like but that was close.
I think that's why we fell in love with CrossFit so much in the early days, because that's what it was.
Right.
It's like everybody that walked into the gym did not think they could do the workout of the day. And they were right. And they were right. And it wasn't because it was overprogrammed. It's like when we first started, all of this shit was hard.
Yeah.
And when we walked into the gym, the coach was like, all right, here's the workout. Here's what we want it to be. Here's how you guys can scale to at least achieve what we're trying to get. And some of you will fail in the process, but throughout the class, they would show us that, yes, I went to failure on grip and I couldn't do pull-ups anymore. So I sucked, or I couldn't lift that weight, or I kept missing this one thing, or I don't have this skill yet. And the coach would be there for you the whole way through. Hey, don't worry about it. Here's how we can get better. We had a tough day. Here's what we learned. That's what coaching in CrossFit was in the early days, because we had time to do it. You were given freedom to fail and time to coach. I don't see that in classes much anymore because there's no time. It's full of a bunch of crap and everybody's just trying to butt pat each other, and they're changing what RX and scales mean. And now we see these like RX plus and I was like, it's the same thing. Like you're just moving all of these goalposts and standards. And it's not about being a hard-nosed jerk. It's about the standard of which we have, the standard of which we hold, and the standard which I hold you to. And I'm going to do that in such a way that you are going to see the benefits of your struggle. And that's what's going to make you more resilient, more fit, more confident outside the walls of this gym for 1 hour.
And then what does everyone say? Like, I don't hear it as much now. Maybe from the old people I'll hear it. But like, what did we always say about those workouts? Oh, man, that was fun.
Yeah.
That was fun. Why?
Yeah.
Because it was like, it was a challenge. And again, it was like, it's kind of it's a no-lose situation. It's supposed to be super hard.
Or that
you challenge, like, I'm almost, man, that was fun.
Yeah.
I almost was there. And so that was fun. That was fun. So when people would look at CrossFit and be like, dude, you guys are crazy. How was that fun? Like you're hurting, you're literally burying yourself in, head straight into the wall, putting yourself straight into the ground. How is that fun? It's like, cause I almost made it.
Yeah.
Cause I almost got that lift, man. I was so close.
Yeah.
Like that is fun.
So all of this that I've said this a few times. Do you know the myth of Sisyphus? I've got him somewhere on here.
No.
So it's a Greek myth where this king Sisyphus, he cheated the gods twice from death. So he escaped Hades and got out. And when he eventually died, Zeus punished him for eternity to be pushing a boulder up a hill. And it would never reach the top. And he told him he would never reach the top. Whenever you're just about to go to the top, it'll roll back down. You start again. You're punished for eternity to do that. And this philosopher, Camus, French philosopher, went into this and he explored the fact that you have to imagine at some point Sisyphus became happy with the process. He had to fall in love with the fact that he was doing that every day, even though he knew he wouldn't ever get to the top. That is the definition of process. If you take away the end goal and it's always ever moving further away, you're only going to ever be happy and improve. If you're solely focused on getting, and you know you can get it to the top, once you're at the top, then what? So there's this whole piece, and there's this common thread across all this new discussion around process and falling in love with it and getting back up, and rather than goal orientation and growth mindset. And it really feeds into that. And it's so cool that that's normal now. And I genuinely do believe, like you said about CrossFit, about having that. I got into it a little bit later than you guys. So I found it in 2011, went to my first affiliate in 2012. I didn't have kids until 2017. And I genuinely think it has made me and my wife much better parents for having done CrossFit before we had kids. Learning how to coach, learning how to adjust for people's attention, but their creativity and their ability to critical think on the floor, how to coach, keeping things as being impressed by simplicity. That is the one thing. And Chase, I think that's one thing you skirted on a minute ago. The programming now, it's right. We're going to do a 7.5 minute warm up. The briefing's 10 minutes. Then we're going to do back squats. Then we're going to do Olympic lifting. Then we're going to 20-minute Metcon. And then we're going to do it's like, fuck me, there's so much going on here. It's no wonder anyone's managing to retain that information or actually learn or be coached. And then we're saying about having unlimited numbers in the room, and you should be able to coach for 60 people if they show up. All right, but where's the benefit there for the people that are, and I've talked about this quite a lot before. I was very, very fortunate with the first box that I went to. They were very pyramid orientated. It was when you first start, we are nailing your nutrition and your metabolic conditioning. That's what we're going for. When you come in, we scale you. Even if, like, I was fairly good at SBD, even if it's back squats within a workout, you are scaling the back squats to suit your performance and your capacity based on the metabolic conditioning nutrition cycle that you're on. And we're building you up over time towards the sport. I feel so blessed that I had that kind of gym when I first started.
That's awesome.
And I think because of that, I hold that dear, and I preach that to people now at the gym. Now, I think, and one thing that I want to ask your opinion on is, and that's why the show's called The Base, by the way, because the base of the pyramid working up. It's just
I
Nice.
wanted that.
Amongst other things. But over the years, specifically the last 5 years, I would say there's been a lot of specializing of the pyramid. So we've got the sports side of it, the WFP, really focusing on that top tip of the spear, and they're specializing in that. You've got people like High Rocks that come around, they're specializing in the metabolic conditioning side of stuff. You've got Metfix now that's specializing in the base and the nutrition. There's all these specializing elements within the pyramid that I think are detracting potentially. Here's the question. Do you think those specializers within each of those levels are adding to our pyramid under the banner of CrossFit? Or do you think they go some way to detract from a holistic thing that we call CrossFit?
Detract.
I'll say why.
Okay.
They 100% could add, but they refuse to do so.
Okay.
Because every one of those specializations that you said are a level of that pyramid. So if, say, Metfix is solely focused on the bottom, there should be a relationship between CrossFit and Metfix to perfect the bottom. If High Rocks is so in the middle of metabolic conditioning, we know why High Rocks is fun for people who do CrossFit, because it's just a CrossFit workout. High Rocks is a great way to express your fitness. I truly believe that, but it's very heavy on cardiovascular respiratory.
Just like the workout of the day. Yeah.
Look at the people who are now winning that sport. They're just runners who can kind of do wall ball shots. You look at the WFP and they're at the top of the pyramid. They're solely focused on sport. Same with the CrossFit Games, solely focused on sport.
Yeah.
And the only thing we're missing in between all of that is gymnastics, weightlifting, and throwing. But they're not their own pyramids. They're just pieces of the puzzle. The biggest miss we've had in the last 3 to 5 years is that I say we as in CrossFit, is we either neglected to create that relationship when there was an opportunity to bring it in and rise together, or the other side thought they were doing it better or creating something new when they were just retreading the same thing. So that relationship between all of those parties is where the big problem is. That's where the detraction is. In reality, I think it's a very simple process to utilize all of those things in the space. But Metfix believes they're better than CrossFit. High Rocks and CrossFit had their little falling out, and now High Rocks thinks they have the fittest racers in the world, which they clearly do not. WFP thinks they've created a better CrossFit Games and a better affiliate system that they're just retreading what CrossFit has done for the last 20 plus years. And there's a relationship fracture in all of that. So yes, it absolutely detracts because it's just noise that is detracting from what the perfect pyramid was. CrossFit perfected fitness by defining it and then proving it with empirical data. Measurable, observable, repeatable. Everyone else is trying to replicate, copy, or think they're better than what CrossFit has produced. That's where the detraction is.
And what's crazy is that in the old days, if there was someone that tried to pull away to showcase that they were better than, dude, they would get excommunicated. I mean, that's happened to Kelly Starrett.
Yeah.
He tried to do his thing, Jason Kalipin when he was doing the NC Fit thing. Anyone that moved away trying to take what CrossFit was, and then they said, but here's my version or whatever, and kind of removing themselves from that or becoming the specialist piece of that. I mean, I think that was the greatest thing that Greg did. Other than like putting a definition on fitness and being the only, still to this day, the only methodology that has a definition of the things that you are trying to achieve that is observable, measurable, repeatable, is the fact that he moved away from all of the biomarkers that everyone makes a big deal about. If you want to talk BMI, VO2 max, you want to talk body composition, cool. Guess what? If you can do more work in less time, all of these things are going to improve. If you have your nutrition, the way we talk about meats, eat meat, seeds, go down the list, 100 words of fitness. That right there is what CrossFit is. And if you do those that 100 words of things, you don't need to specialize in all of this other stuff. All of the specialization stuff is great information to have. And it's fun. It's fun, either competitions or ways to challenge yourself, but they are not. That was great. That's a great way you said it, Chase. They are not pyramids within the pyramid. It's a layer of the pyramid.
Yeah, but this layers and
it's a layer.
No, it's already established.
And I hate the fact, like, it's really hard to watch. Coming from the old days of CrossFit where Greg took all of that stuff and piled it all into one thing and molded it into that pyramid.
There you go.
It is right there. That put it all into that book. And now
I
all
read
of a sudden
to my kids every day, by the way. It's my Bible.
But then, like, taking out a piece and thinking, like, okay, well, this right here, bam, whatever level this is that we're talking about, this is the most important part. We should be focusing on only this.
I mean, like, what piece of complex yet irreducible do we want to pull out of the level 1 right there?
Right.
That's the pyramid.
Yeah.
You cannot remove one layer of that and just chase that forever and think that's going to get you to your end goal.
Yeah. Do you know one thing? And I've written this down, and I was going to bring it up. I think the reason, and I'm not blowing smoke at your ass, you two, but you can take it if you want. The reason that you guys get so much respect across our community is that you are able to split between sport, programming, the base, the nutrition. You understand that pyramid, because I think you were there early days and you were taught that pyramid and you understand it. And you don't, at least outwardly, you don't have a bias towards any particular part of that pyramid, because you understand it's in one word. It's on your hat, Chase. It's on your t-shirt. It's on mine. That word CrossFit, that's what that represents. And it's because of the dissecting of it over the years, it's lost that initial take of what CrossFit and the value of that word. Once that was removed, of course, affiliate owners are going to go, well, what benefit do I get from being called CrossFit? It's because they forgot what it was. It's all of it. It's everything. It's that whole entire book that I just held up. It's what it stands for. And that's what you get from your affiliate fee and being CrossFit, not just a functional fitness gym or the XFit. You get to be called CrossFit, and you stand for all of that. No matter what you take from that book and you preach about it. It's like, who was it? Someone said the other day online, I think it was Daniel Chaffee put a thing for Louvre on their Instagram page. The best place you can go to get good at High Rocks is a CrossFit affiliate.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Well, thank you for that, first of all. The point that you just made about, like, we hear this a lot, is like, oh, what does the name mean? What is I work for the affiliate department for CrossFit, which some people is like, oh, you get paid to talk nice about them. Have you listened to a podcast I've done? Yeah. I hope, and no one at CrossFit has, because that is not the case. Is that the reason why the name was so powerful and can be so powerful is that we are not separating the sum of the parts and no longer having the whole. Why was the name so awesome? Because we had the best training methodology in the world, and we still do, which also produces the best coaches in the world, and they're in your gyms, which made the best small business owners that just happen to be CrossFit affiliates 10,000, 11,000 plus worldwide. And then you have people around the world changing their lives through this thing. And at the height of it, we have people who want to be trainers and coaches and be a part of that ecosystem, helping all these people in the world. And at the very top, we have the CrossFit Games, which is just fun for all of us to be a part of and enjoy and watch, because it all tied together. That's why the name was so powerful. The CrossFit is the pyramid. It's the nutrition that we've changed. It's the sedentary lifestyle that we've reversed. It's the medical chronic disease that we're fighting. It's the everyday Joe walking into a gym thinking that they can't do this thing that's on the whiteboard, and all of a sudden they can. Now, when they go out into the world, they're just a better person because of it. They have more confidence themselves. Low confident people create the problems that you have. People who are confident in themselves don't talk shit about other people. They don't have to. It's people that have no confidence or lack of self-esteem. And
Yeah.
all of that was tied together. There is no difference between CrossFit affiliation, CrossFit education, and CrossFit the sport. It is one gigantic ecosystem. And when you put it all together, that name on the hat means so much more, which is why I've never understood why people want to like piecemeal CrossFit HQ. Oh, we'll just get rid of sport. And then the other two is like, it won't work.
Yeah.
We're not saying it won't work because sport's gone. We're saying you took away one of the key pieces that make CrossFit awesome. For the same reason you won't get rid of EDU and make it its own entity or affiliate. Like, it all works together. And it was when it was at its peak, when it was all working together in this just endless, beautiful cycle that made CrossFit what it was.
Well said. And I've gone through a bit of an epiphany the last 6 months with all of this. So I've been battling my own ego for the last 5 years. I fell away from the sport. I didn't see the value in it. I thought it's all about affiliates. I've been preaching about, you know, if the sport goes away, we're all good. We're fine. We're absolutely fine. And Daniel Chaffee invited me to go to the French Throwdown. So I had him on the show and he invited me to go. So I went across and Greg was there and I followed him around. I keep telling this story, but I'll say it again. And the entire time Greg was there, other than when he came out really shyly and waved to people on the floor, the gym floor, I call it. Other than that, he didn't look at the athletes performing. It wasn't why he was there. He wanted to be part of the community of CrossFit. And that was the first ember of like a spark. And I thought, hang on a minute, there's something there. And then I followed him for 6 hours. He was walking around from 10 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock in the afternoon, shaking hands, having pictures. His whole family were walking behind him. Like Maggie and the kids were all sort of going and playing table tennis now and again. But he was walking around. There's this moment I got on camera somewhere where Greg's like a third wheel in a conversation and he's just looking around. And there's this guy struggling, like a young dad. He's got a baby. He's trying to handle him, got a bag. He's trying to get a nappy out, a bottle of milk. Greg just walked straight over, sat down, helped him out, held the baby, got the milk out, and then he walked away as if it was like you just go, matter of fact, done, you're done, I'm walking away, back to the conversation, and then walked around. And then I went to Strength in Depth a couple of weeks ago in Birmingham in the UK, and it solidified the idea. I'm not going to the events to watch the sport. I'm going there to be part of that tribe. They're all gathering. That's where CrossFitters gather. Like, there's no other place where we gather. There was a Comic-Con going around down the road, like in the same kind of arena. And the parallels were uncanny. Yeah. It was these weird people getting dressed up strange that don't fit in society, gathering together for a day so they can feel good about themselves and buy T-shirts of their favorite famous person. It was like, fuck me.
And what did it look like over at the Comic-Con?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We are them, but we flap around on a barbell for 10 minutes at a time. It's the same thing. And we need those competitions because that's where we get together. That's where we gather. You can go to the games. And I'm really jealous I don't get to go this year, but I'm hopefully going to Rogue in October.
Nice.
With John. So and now I'm full send on competitions. I just want to go, not necessarily to watch the actual athletes doing shit. I just want to go to be involved. I just want to be there. And all of a sudden, the judging, the volunteering, the vendors, the people walking around, all of that makes sense again. It's so cool. And it's taken me fucking 5 or 6 years to come back around to this. I used to go to comps. I used to compete a little. I'm not an athlete by any means, but I used to run competitions. I had 2 affiliates that I ran and promoted the shit out of people going to compete. And then I lost it. I sort of and I don't know. I think I fall into this bracket of people that didn't start OG like you guys, that's somewhere in the middle, and we got burnt out, and we thought, got not bored, but we didn't see the value in the sport. We were aging. We weren't able to compete at a high level or low level anymore. So because we weren't able to, we thought, nah, that's not for us. We don't want CrossFit the sport around, but it's essential. And I'm so glad, and Grant will really keep rubbing this in my face, Mr. Keeping It Real, because he's been telling me this because he's always massive experience of 2 years. But I'm back in the game again.
That's awesome.
although having said that, I am doing a full power meet and a high rocks within the same
Good.
3 weeks in October. So I'm being fully hybrid, but all I'm doing for it is CrossFit training and adding in a little bit more of a long conditioning piece.
It's still CrossFit. It's not hybrid.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
Bill, what is our favorite moments of the CrossFit Games? Does it have anything to do with what happened on the competition floor? Ever?
I'll say sort of. It's the dinner at the end of the night when we're just talking about like, dude, what'd you see about? What was your favorite?
It's the dinner at the end of the day. It's the lunchtime in the green room. It's the ride to the arena in the morning. It's the post night 2 beers in the hotel lobby. It's hanging with our friends. What was the one thing that we were so sad about when 2018 happened and everything got basically shattered?
We wouldn't be able to do that.
We wouldn't be able to do that with each other anymore.
Yeah.
Not, oh, I don't get to go to the CrossFit Games and watch people compete. That's super cool, but that's, dude, you nailed it.
Dude, I mean, think about it. Who goes to watch that? CrossFitters go to watch CrossFit. Nobody else gives a shit.
No.
I mean, and so like, why? I mean, that's the thing. That is our community. And it was funny. I had 3 drop-ins today from down in Ventura, somewhere in California. And they were talking about that. They're like, we hear the word community so much that like it just sounds fake. And I'm like, yeah, that's why I don't say it anymore. I say, and Matt Souza brought this up when we were actually in at the NCC. He's like, we're gonna stop saying community. We're just gonna say CrossFitters from now on.
Because everybody's using it.
Nah, yeah, but I mean, it's like the cult, the culture. People say you CrossFitters are in a cult. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Like from now on, it's like, yeah, because I don't want to say community. We are a cult.
Yep.
We are a group of people that talk the same way, that have a unique language, that commune together, that do things together, that have similar interests and vibes and goals as we drive. Like that is our
secret meetups that are called competitions.
Yeah, exactly.
Where we gather.
And I mean, but that is it. You're right. Like it has the people that came in, the people that got into CrossFit. Like I feel bad for them. They got in around the COVID-ish time and the 2019 through COVID to even some of the stuff now. They didn't get to feel what like the heart of it was. They just saw the finish line. Can I compete? Cool. I'm going to be a hero because I get to compete. I'm not good at that. I'm not old enough to do the Masters yet until they come up with the 21 to 25-year-old division that I can do for the Masters. I guess I'm going to go do high rocks because just like every other fun run, everyone can do it, right? It's the same thing. Like, but that's what we do. And to your point about like doing the high rocks in the lift, when I was getting my level 1, and this was like 2007, I said, okay, I'm going to test this CrossFit thing out. I'm going to do a triathlon. I did an Olympic. I'm going to do an Olympic triathlon, an Olympic distance triathlon. And I had done them before where I would train specifically for the swimming and the biking and the running. I'm going to do just CrossFit, my CrossFit or .com, whatever it ended up being. And I'm going to test it and see what I can do with that. And this is a point that actually Jan made up the ways a little bit about like having to specialize and all that. The thing that was great about it was I didn't have my best time ever, but I didn't get on a bike once. I didn't swim once. I just did CrossFit and I was like 2 minutes off my best time.
Damn.
Like if I would have had some hill training and working on the gears and a little bit of swimming time just to kind of get my sighting as I'm going, and if I would have had that, I could have had a better time. But the thing is it makes you fit and functional so you can do anything, so that you can go and watch the games and be like, oh man, I know what those like. Do we have that's the greatest thing about the Open is all of the people that CrossFit, all the CrossFitters are on the same line as the athletes that are at the top 30 that are at the games. They did the same workouts that we did. It's not I can't say that about NBA. I can't say that about, marathons. I can't, we all got on the same line.
Well, you're also there with your coaches, your owners, your level
your
one
people.
trainers.
Yeah. It's a blank slate.
Like, everybody's
it's
there.
just, I mean, it's that is, you talk about the tribe. That is our tribe. That is our cult.
Yep.
We need to be proud of that.
Completely agree. So 2 things you mentioned there, this is a point I was going to make, is the media at the moment. So the media, the CrossFit media that we have across the whole spectrum of what is put out within our ecosystem. The one thing that has lacked, and the one thing that I'm really happy is back, that really got me into the gym, that so many others got in the gym, is the behind the scenes. It wasn't the actual games footage. It's the behind the scenes of the footage, the reality of the athletes. And even the CrossFit documentaries, there's a flash of a workout. There's a part where Fraser's looking over and seeing where Josh Bridges is in the other lane. There's flashes of it, and where Savon's in the way and Matt Fraser tells him to get out of the way. There's all that shit, but it's not really the actual footage of the competition. It's the behind the scenes stuff. That's what's been lacking, not the actual sport getting people into it. It's the periphery of the sport. And Hiller's doing a really good fucking job at the moment of doing these behind the scenes documentaries of athletes. It's that media that we've lacked and we've needed that will pull people in. I like for the longest time, when people say it's the sport that gets people into the gyms, I've disagreed with them on it because of the nuance in that. It's the behind the scenes of the sport that gets people in. It's not the actual watching of the sport, I don't think. And it's so cool that that's coming back. The one thing that I'm not necessarily involved or watch too much of is the drama and the gotcha and the gossip side of the media. But fuck me, that is what gets views. That's what gets people looking and watching, and thousands of views. So just because that doesn't tickle my it doesn't mean other people don't. And we've got such a cool landscape now of media, like so many different people doing so many different bits and pieces, and it's cool. There's so much content. And someone right at the beginning of this said, "Oh, my iPods are getting charged again for the amount of content that I'm listening to today live." But that's cool. Like, how good is that? The amount of media is going out.
Sorry, Bill.
Go.
I hate to say that Greg was right when he blew everything up in 2018. He was right about the media side of making it basically like let more voices in the space come in. That part he was correct on, because and this is most people's biggest critique that have been around a while on media side, that CrossFit media has died and Greg killed it. I would say in the last 6 months, or even this year, maybe 18 months, basically when Savon got behind the scenes access again. The media in the space, not necessarily coming from HQ, is the best it's ever been. With, like you said, the things that Hiller's been doing, all the other media sources in the space that are following the season, and it's not all just about the games, it's about other things. Just all the different podcasts. CrossFit bringing back Road to the Games is a huge step forward on the CrossFit side and pulling media back in. The documentaries that are more like the highlight reel of the CrossFit Games, and the behind the scenes is the real documentary of the CrossFit Games. And I would say in the last 18 months, overall, the media has never been better and more potent and more followed. It just hasn't been curated under one umbrella, which is what Greg's initial plan was with the media department. How he went about doing it and the other things that he did are a different thing. But up to this point now, I agree that it's fantastic.
Yeah, no, it is exciting. And also there's so many different people from so different eras. You know, you got you guys and Savon, who were like the OGs that were involved. Not that he ever competed, but he was around and he was there.
Old guys. That's what we mean, right? OGs.
All right.
I mean, I am. It's cool.
Like. One question I had earlier, and you mentioned Greg a minute ago, is what's your favorite era, Greg? Like
Sail Greg.
Right.
Anthos Greg. That was my favorite. So like 2010 to 2014.
The unbuyable?
The unbuyable Greg. and they became viable. But like that was, I think, peak Greg, because at the time CrossFit was taking off. So CrossFit was just like under siege from the NSCA and every other fitness thing in the world. The Olympic weightlifting world hated CrossFit. The gymnastics world hated CrossFit. Every personal training credentialer out there hated CrossFit. Freaking, they try to do like trainer licensing at a political level to stop the spread of CrossFit. And then at the same time, like Greg's out there just being like, screw you guys, and pushing back. Like we had teeth. We had the Russells that were just like Greg's right hand and left hand pit bull dogs, just going after everybody with intelligence and facts. Greg, I would say Greg loved the games at that time. Like he would come into the booth when we were broadcasting and just thank us for being a part of it. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, you're the one that let us come here. Like, I should be washing your feet. And then when the whole Anthos thing came about, and the unbuyable Greg, like, take all like your favorite highlight videos of Greg talking to somebody. It's probably between 2010 and 2014, where it was like my favorite Greg. No, I don't like. I love Greg. Like, Greg is the reason for why I'm even on this podcast. Just follow the breadcrumbs, and it leads back to Greg. That's probably mine.
Yeah, I would say early years for sure, just because of his personality and the way he operated gave CrossFitters the costume of being like Fight Clubby, gritty, down and dirty, because he didn't care. No. He's like, oh, you don't like it? I don't care. We're going to do this. Yeah, it's going to be bad. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. What are you
going to do this? Yeah. It's like, yeah, you don't like it? Come and try it. Like it was like, that's very like old school wrestler, like just that attitude. You have to have that attitude. If you believe in what you do and you think it's good, then you're like not afraid to challenge. So I would agree with that for sure. The other one that I would bring up, which is probably falls in the same vein of that, but it would be kind of the a later time in that, is when Greg just went toe to toe with every big dog there was. Oh, NSCA, fuck you guys. Oh, you want to try and do this thing? Yeah, okay, bring it. And we just went to court. Like, the fact that we had someone that would battle that hard for us. Yeah. Because he doesn't know all of us. He's like, I want you guys to succeed. So we're gonna clear the way. I'm gonna be a bulldozer through this forest, through this jungle. I will clear the way for you. You guys just do your thing after that. Go have fun.
The best part is he didn't tell us how to do our thing.
No, he didn't.
He just trusted us to do our thing.
He just like, go do it, man.
And we didn't want to let him down.
It was like that the I don't care attitude, and just like the pure just belief in what it is that you're doing. Like, that's my favorite, because I think that is the piece that's missing. Because earmuffs, Chase, earmuffs. I don't know what's happening out there right now, and I know that for me, and I've said this a lot of times on our show, is that when the light that I am trying to follow, I can't see it. I have a lantern here in my gym, and it says CrossFit Inferno, and it says OG up on my flag, and I know exactly what that is, and that's the methodology. And so if it's being skewed somewhere outside of my four walls, then I bring in my little lantern of what Greg gave me, and I put it up there, and we follow that, because that to me is what that is.
But again, everyone calls him coach for a reason. And going back to what you said earlier, the best coaches that you have in sport, and as a parent,
we call him coach.
Yeah. We have
not everybody.
Someone that gives us process, rewards effort, and doesn't have an end result.
Mhm.
And
Challenges us at every turn.
Yeah. There we go.
Damn, that's good.
There you go. You wrapped it up for me. So I've got one question. Jon's been dying to ask this for the last hour. What CrossFit media duo would Bill and Chase like to wrestle and why?
You didn't. Oh, but did my answer not post? I said any because we would crush them all.
Yeah,
That's what I said.
yeah.
You want to know? You want to know why? And it would be because there is something about being a little bit older and a little bit wiser. The younger bucks, because I know with this, and we used to have this when we were wrestling. We're like these badass Division I college wrestlers, top of our game, and these old cats would come in every once in a while. And they'd be in their 40s, and be like, "Oh, dude, look at this old guy over here. I'm gonna crush this guy." And they'd come out, strap on their shoes or slide on the knee sleeve or whatever it is that they're doing. They'd come out all slow. And then all of a sudden they would wait for you to do something. And you'd be like, "Oh yeah, watch this cool move." Boom. And you come out and they'd be like, "Oh, bam." And they would just know to wait. Patience and wisdom.
Oh yeah.
Dude.
My answer is 100% gluten things, because I figured they could use one more tussle with a dude before, just a little reminder,
Yeah.
You're feeling.
Oh, amazing. Bill, you can follow that up tomorrow when you're on the show.
Yeah, I'll bring that up tomorrow. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Excellent. Love that. Cool. Guys, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Yeah,
it's been an absolute honor. Do you know, you guys have, like I said at the beginning, you guys are stalwarts of CrossFit, and you've got so much respect from everyone in our community because you just know how CrossFit should be, and you exemplify that all the time. And we watch all your shows, and when we watch the games, we listen out for your voices. So on behalf of everyone, be really proud of everything you're doing for CrossFit, because it's people like you that are CrossFit. So, and we look up to you guys. So thank you for that. Man, and thank you so much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure. And yeah.
Thank you.
There we go. So amen to that. Exactly. There we go. So guys, thanks for everyone for listening in. Like I said, Bill is on with Garrett tomorrow over on Gluten Things. And guys, when's your next show? When are you on next?
Oh, we got a big week. We're going to pack out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Next week's starting on Monday. We're working on a Heat 1 prop bet show for the CrossFit Games. So bring in your 4 best prop bets, or try to get Tyler on there. Trying to build out a greatest CrossFit Games finale elimination bracket show. And then the third one's up for grabs. We might actually name the IE.
I think we should name. We need to
name them before the game. So we might,
because you have to have something for the broadcast.
Yeah,
dude.
we do a games naming show, and then then I'll be off to the CrossFit Games Wednesday night and broadcasting for that.
Oh, weekend. Amazing. Well, we'll all be listening out for you. So and Garrett's going, isn't she? So Garrett will be there as well.
Aren't they in that area?
Yeah, no, that'd be awesome. That'd be great. All right, well, nice one. Tune in for all of those shows, guys. I can't wait for the games next week, so I'll definitely be tuning in. But thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll speak to you